Welcome back. The Green Bay Board of Education recently selected their new superintendent, Michael Hernandez. He recently stopped by Off the Desk to talk about the school district's top leadership position and what he hopes to accomplish. Our conversation begins with his reaction to being chosen for this role.
It's extremely exciting. I'm still kind of at awe on it, but I'm very humbled and excited.
Wonderful. And the board voted 6-1 to offer you the position recently. The other finalist, Random Lake School District Superintendent Michael Trimberger Jr. What do you think made you stand out from your competition for this role?
Really, I can't speak on what the board was thinking. I do think that I have experience working in larger districts, as well as I think that through the past work, we've been able to create systems that have made fundamental shifts, both in Appleton and in Madison. So I think that those two might be the reason why the board chose me.
Now, you are currently serving as the Assistant Superintendent of Secondary Schools, as you mentioned, for the Appleton Area School District. Before that, you were the Chief of Secondary Schools in Madison. What attracted you to the top job in the Green Bay School District?
Well, when I moved up here, I had some friends that lived in the Green Bay area as well, and I would be silly not to think about Green Bay just because of the support that the community has. The community really does value public education here in Green Bay. I appreciate urban school districts, and I appreciate the diversity that Green Bay offers. And so approximately a year ago, I just kind of started keeping my eye on it and following. And I just have great respect for Vicki, the current superintendent. I'm watching her being a civil servant, just being selfless and giving everything for this district. I thought it was a great fit for me.
And you spoke about Vicki. She is retiring. Your start date is coming up on July 1st. What are your goals for the Green Bay Area Public School District, both in the short term and beyond? Of course, when you step into this role, the district is projected to have an $8 million deficit for next school year. So there's a lot of things at play here.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving balls right now. I think one of the biggest things that I will need to do through this transition is I'm going to need to be in the public and meet with our community, meet with our staff, meet our students. If I was selected to be superintendent of the district, that means that I need to earn the trust of this community. And so it's going to be a lot and out and listening and learning. And I think that's short term as well as long term. I need to make sure that I play it both ways on that, as well as then beginning just taking note of what the strengths and areas that we want to continue to work on and improve within our district to ensure that all students are listened and heard and seen in our district. The budget, that's something that we need to make sure that we also communicate clearly with our community for them to understand that there might be cuts, there might be referendum, there might be any of those things that are occurring, but that's going to be where our board is going to make that decision.
Sure. The superintendent position, as you know, in Green Bay has seen its fair share of turnover, even some controversy in the past 6 years. How do you plan to bring stability to the role? People in the community have, been vocal about wanting that in their next leader.
Yeah, I've been asked that question surprisingly a lot over the last few weeks. If you speak to anybody I've ever worked with, whether it's community, family, staff, they will tell you that that when I become focused and when I'm working on this, I believe in doing everything possibly that I can to ensure that our students have every access to everything. For me, stability means that my actions are going to meet my words and my words are going to meet my actions. And I think that's important for everybody to understand because that's the type of person that my parents raised me as, and that's the way I approach life.
How else would you describe your leadership style? What can people expect?
Visibility. I do believe that visibility is leadership. I don't know how people can make decisions if they haven't walked the halls, if they haven't spoke to the stakeholders. That's the staff, students, and our families. I mentioned earlier the servant leadership. I believe as I work with staff or I work with our schools, I can stand in front of, I can stand beside, or I can stand beside a mom, and that's going to be a group decision on where they need me to provide the opportunity for everybody to be successful.
As you're aware, the school board rejected the idea recently of weapons detectors in schools. Of course, this was following that gun incident at Preble High School. Do you want to explore that safety and security option again, or do you have other things in mind? What are your thoughts?
Well, I have a few different thoughts on this, but the first one is one incident doesn't define a school or a district. I think that's important to say as working in public schools for the last 30 years. I just need to remind everybody that just that one incident does not define. I don't have an opinion on what we need to do next because I haven't spoken to the stakeholders yet. I'm speaking to the board and speaking to our community and speaking to the students. Obviously, safety is always on the forefront of my mind, as everybody else's minds. Just being in public education, we've been asked to take care of the most precious commodity in this area, which is our children. I think about on local apprentice, and we're in place of parents from that time. So yes, we want to keep people safe. Is a feeling of safety of having a weapons detector? I'm not sure if that's the answer or not, but what I am saying is that together we're going to be able to make that decision at what's best for our kids and staff.
Up next, our conversation with Michael Hernandez continues. Hear his thoughts on other priority areas. Plus, we hear about who he is outside of school as a family man when Off the Desk returns. Welcome back. Before the break, we heard from Green Bay's new school superintendent about his short and long-term goals for the district. We heard about his leadership style, and he discussed budget issues and safety and security of students and staff. Now our conversation continues with Michael Hernandez. We hear his thoughts on what else he wants to tackle as he transitions into this new role. Plus, we learn a little bit about his personal life.
During that time that I was thinking about applying, there was some listening sessions that our community, the Green Bay community, came with the district, and I drove up and I listened to them. I sat in as a community member, just interested to hear what the people wanted, and safety was one of those priorities. The budget was another one of those priorities, but some of the other things that I heard was a need for clear and consistent, transparent communication to rebuild or to just continue to build trust from the community with the school district. I'm not saying it's not there, but that was the perception or reality for some people. And so I think that's something that we need to tackle, as well as the transparency of what we're going to do, whether it's with budget or decision-making of curriculum or how we approach safety in our buildings. We just need to be very transparent with that.
How about academics? Anything that you want to tackle right away when it comes to maybe improving test scores, or you mentioned curriculum?
Yes, that's a tricky question, right? I haven't walked into the classrooms and I haven't listened or heard, and those are two different things. I haven't listened or heard what is going on in those classrooms. So I could give you a very generic answer, but what I can say on that is we can't lower standards or lower expectations, both for academics or for safety and security. We have to have those high expectations, and our students will rise and meet those. But we just have to be consistent. That's aligned with professional development, how we approach the pedagogy or the teaching of that curriculum. We have to be very consistent, but we have to hold high expectations. Because if you talk to anybody that I ever worked with, you will hear, I'll never be part of hugging somebody into poverty. We have to have those high expectations across the board for students to be successful. To me, success is when that student walks across that stage and is able to identify individuals and or schools that they say they've heard me, they supported me, and they've prepared me to be ready for life.
You also serve as an adjunct professor at UW Oshkosh. Do you plan to continue that role?
I'm going to be co-teaching a class in June, and it's for students for a master's level class. with Kristen Comerford. I'll be doing that, and then I'm going to put a pause on this because I want to devote as much time and energy as I can to do this job very well. I love teaching. I love working with adults or students because they're going to be the ones in front of our children in the future. And so I'll finish off in June, and then I'm going to put a pause for a while.
And we've learned so much about you from your professional side. What about your personal side? Are you comfortable with sharing some details about family, maybe some favorite pastimes that you might have?
Yes.
And hobbies?
Again, as you get to know me in this community, my family is everything, right? I'm married, 25 years, July 1. It's an easy day to remember for our anniversary, but 25 years. My wife, Melissa, is an instructional coach for the Appleton Area School District, and her focus is early childhood literacy, which then makes it my focus as well. We have a lot of conversations about that. My oldest, Isabella, is a first-year, third-grade teacher at McKinley Elementary, so she's fourth generation, so I'm extremely proud of her. Diego, my middle boy, he is graduating in May, construction management, and he took a different pathway through school, but he is ready, and he's ready to jump into the world. And my youngest decided to go through the trades and cruise Ernesto, and he works HVAC, and he's loving his job. The people treat him well, and it's kind of nice when I need some heating and cooling information at the house. So that's my family, and you will hear me talk about them a lot because I'm extremely proud of them.
That's wonderful. Thanks so much for sharing a little of your personal side as well. Before we wrap up here, any last words you want to share with our audience as you get ready to make this big move into the Green Bay School District?
Yeah, maybe I've made a mistake by looking at some of the comments online, and I know that there's a lot of questions and such. The thing I'd like to leave us on is don't have any preconceived notions. If you have questions or concerns, please reach out. I'm always willing to have a conversation. But what I can guarantee you is that we're all in to ensure that our students get everything that they deserve and that we support our staff because they're selfless. And on times, unfortunately, there's times that we have people that vilify public schools and our public educators, and it's ridiculous. We need to uplift them. And so my final comments on this is, if you have questions, please reach out, and I'm more than happy to have a conversation.
All right. Thank you very much, Superintendent Hernandez. We wish you all the best of luck as you move into this new role leading the Green Bay Area Public School District. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
And stay with us. There's much more Off the Desk to come.